You are in Tokyo in Japan and suddenly you realize you are lost. You need to find way back home, but you don't know how. You don't remember where you came from, and after a few tries of finding the way, you realize that you cannot. You need to ask someone to help you. And even though it's not something you like to do, you are desperate and you need to do it. After being shy for a while, you finally decide to speak to the one person who looks like he's kind and he will be receptive to your approach. And you ask him, Anata. Before you can even finish your sentence, he laughs at your face. What a foreigner! You know why? Because anata is not the way you say you in Japanese. That's why in this video I'm going to teach you 3 ways that you can say you in Japanese without being cringe and without being laughed at. Why not anata? Why wouldn't you use anata when you heard that is the way to say you in Japanese? Well, anata is the way Duolingo will teach you to say. Anata is the way that Rosetta Stone will teach you to say it. But does that mean that you really should use this when you're really speaking to some Japanese people? It doesn't. Firstly, anata is mostly used in literature and in writing. It isn't really used in speaking, and when it is in some special, specific situations, like for example, using it with your husband or wife. And thirdly, there is another way you can use it without it being inappropriate, and that is if you are a foreigner. Yes, foreigners use this all the time, so if you want to join them and be like, here, Japanese people here, you are here, then be alright with that and use あなたはここに何年住んでいますですか? Or whatever the fuck. So now what to say to join people here and be respected like a fluent person deserves to. First thing and first way to say you in Japanese in this kind of situation would be お姉さん or お兄さん, like brother in English. This is what is commonly used by Japanese people formally and also informally. So you can use it with people you don't know, for example in school, where you don't have to be that formal, but as I said, you can also use it with strangers when you need help. So お兄さん手伝ってくれますか? Or お姉さん手伝ってくれますか? Could you please help me? This is natural and you wouldn't be laughed at. Maybe you would even be looked at like this. Wow, Nihongo joju. Your Japanese is pretty good. There is a situation where you shouldn't use onisan or onesan, and that is when you know the name of the person. Because then it is a little bit rude to call them like that, and it could look like you are not speaking to the person in a good faith. When you know their name, use their name instead. For example, you are with your friends in a bakery and you are eating a cake. There is a mutual friend too, and his name is Ken. You know that Ken is his name and you want to ask him what he thinks of the cake, if he likes it. You wouldn't say, あなたはこのケーキ好きですか? Duolingo phrase. Or you wouldn't even say, あなたどうも What do you think? You could just say, ケンはどうも What do you think? I know it sounds a little bit weird. In English, it would be something like, your friend. It could also be Ken. Ken is thinking what? Ken thinks what? But it doesn't matter. Because in Japanese, that's how you speak. And if you want to ask him, you would say, Ken wa doumo? Or Ken doumo? What do you think, Ken? By the way, I have a course covering all of this. Is the first link in the description. So if you want further details, you can go and check it out. Now, the third genial technique that you can use anytime if you want to approach, if you want to ask something to a Japanese person, and that is to not use anything. Not a name, not a pronoun like kimi or anata, not oni-san, one-san, just nothing. This is what Japanese people use the most, and especially when they know the person. They would just look at him and say, domo. This is everything you need to do. You don't need to use pronoun, you don't need to use a name, just like that. If you don't know the person or you are supposed to be like formal or something, maybe consider that and use a different way to call them, but definitely with your friends, co-workers, or maybe someone on the street. But be careful so that he knows you are speaking to him and not someone else. So now you know how to say you in Japanese without being cringe and without getting into the weird situation that I described at the beginning. Maybe you think I'm exaggerating, but once a person even slapped me for using anata. So be careful and use these three instead. If you need to rewatch the video, then go ahead. I will not stop you. And if you want my personal help in learning Japanese, check the first link in the description, which is my full Japanese course for beginners, where I will go through everything like this, every weird pronoun or situation which can happen, and what to say in the situation so you sound fluent. And not only sound, because when you speak like that for a long time, you will actually be fluent. So when you trust me enough, you can go and check it out. Now, if the video was helpful, then consider writing some nice comment, because that will make my day. And if you want my help with something, if you don't understand something in Japanese, or if you don't understand a certain part of this video, also write a comment and maybe I will answer. Good luck with your Japanese learning journey and goodbye.